Hello, welcome back to the workshop. Right, so quick unboxing, do various different bits of review later. I won't do a review in one go because this is quite a complicated welder. This is the Simder SD 4050 10-in-1 welder and cutter. Now I have to borrow a compressor to use the cutter, but we'll be doing a bit of welding with it shortly, but just not in this video. So first thing I'm going to do, open it up, get the bits out, and we'll have a quick look at those. Then I'm going to weld together, do a few test welds, and then I'm going to weld together a welding cart for it so that it can go on its own cart with a big large bottle or two of gas. So this welder does TIG, various different MIG functions, and it also does plasma cutting. Let's see what's in the box. Right, so we have, I ordered this with the box of included accessories. Incidentally, please do like, please share the video. If you like the channel, subscribe, and if you, God, that box of accessories is quite heavy. Let's see how heavy, and the welder's not light either. Right, so let's just yank that box up. Okay, we'll open that up in a sec. Put that down out of the way. The whole box weighs about 15 kilos. That's not a bad way to package it. Right. Okay, the packaging's reasonable. That's up, that down. Oh, that's interesting. A very interesting plug on it. Okay. That's everything out of the box. Let's get rid of the box. (13 amp plug), which is interesting because according to the documentation at 220 volts its maximum input current is 22 amps. Right. First thing first is, this is a relatively expensive welder. That's for some reason or other rocking there. Let me just have a quick tip that up and have a look at this. Now that looks okay there. Obviously got, does that open up any more? Right. Okay, these are not potentiometers, they are rotary switches, micro switch type buttons, and TIG welder. That's your TIG switch. You've got cut there, minus, plus, and over here you've got your MIG. So crucially that's all good. Right, okay. Over here, to get into here, push that down, pull that out. We have a carrier here for undo that, undo that. Just bring that down a little. Ah, right. So that Okay, That takes a full size spindle, I guess. Presumably, let me just see where's my haven't got a small spindle to hand, would go on there. Right, okay. Washer, spring, washer, nylock. Adjustment there. Presume I'll have to go and have a look at the manual. Yeah. No, don't need, can't need to. Ah, okay. So we have the, just so you can see, I'll zoom you right in. And get a light, throw some light on the issue. Right, so you've got in here that carries a bearing to rub against that. Your actual wheel for the wire has two grooves in it down here. Let's see, can you? Right, so that's there. And you can undo this. That will pull out. Keyed wheel with 0.8 on one side and 0.6 on the other. And the side that's in is the size you're going to use, and I'm going to put 0.8 in. There's a key on that. Here's the drive wheel. Slide that back on, and it lines up perfectly. Need new batteries in this, right? So when you change the wheel, you can push that down. That will go up. Then you just tension that with that. So far, quite like it. Right, let's have a read of the back. Okay, so if I just zoom you back in, you can see what's written there. It's a bit odd that it's got 13 amp plug because it says at the bottom the max input current is 22 amps. Oh, sorry, not the max, but the normal sort of input current at high output, and the max is 29 amps at 220 volts. Not sure that's right. Okay, so you've got filter insulation place, MIG gas, presumably also TIG gas. No, my mistakes. You've got MIG gas in there, you've got TIG gas and cutting gas in there, and you've got the filter there. You have on off. And then you have complicated settings at the front, which I will work through at another time when I'm actually doing the various different processes that use it. Right, cool. Reasonably heavy cable, reasonably happy with that. As I say, I would have thought it would have come with not a 13 amp plug, but anyway, not to worry. Right, next thing. Do like the look of the welder. What's in the box of goodies? That looks very much like a cutting torch. That looks very much like a spare inner for a MIG torch. That's definitely a candidate for the worst slag hammer brush combination I have seen ever. Definitely right up there. If it's not number one, I'd have to scrabble around and try and find where number one is. MIG torch. Feels alright. Looks alright. Quite chunky. TIG torch, we'll have a look at that in a minute. Right, manual has a 1mm on that side, 1.2 on that side. Let me just get those out. A couple of hose clamps, spare MIG debris, 2 of those. But let me just have a look at those drive wheels. So the drive wheels, we have 1mm and 0.8, and we have 1mm and 1.2. That's useful. So you can change from having the 0.8 to 0.6 to 0.8 to 1, and from the 1 and 1.2. That's cool. There's a lot of stainless steel and aluminium, well certainly aluminium wires coming thicker. Okay, we have the standard, let's see, arc holder, so arc tube, earth clamp. Right, let's get that box out of the way. Right, let's have a quick pick through these and let's see what's in this box. This box will be filter. So that's a filter that bolts onto the back of the welder. Filter device in there. Not quite sure what that's. Ah, right, okay, so that there is for draining water. Presumably you're going to take something off somewhere and attach that to that. Not quite sure how that's going to go on. We'll refer to the instructions. push to lock, presumably pull to unlock. Right. Up and down, push it down and it's locked on that. Right, okay. Pressure gauge. Not fond of that pressure gauge, it's in the wrong units, but never mind. Okay, right. How's that stinger look? Not stinger, earth clamp. Feels okay. Looks reasonable. But considering it's supposed to be able to do 200 amps, does feel slightly light on that. Keep these for a use. I'm not going to get that out, that's just going to be for piping stuff together. Right, how does that look? That's about the same gauge. I mean, it looks reasonably put together. I don't know if you can see down there. What's the biggest rod? Actually, you know what the biggest rod I've got is going to be that thickness. Can I get that in there? No, it's a bit thick. No. Got any rods lying around? I normally have rods lying around. Not convinced about that one. We'll have to see how that works in service. But I have others, so it doesn't matter. Right. What I don't have is a decent TIG torch. I've got a lift TIG torch, so let's see what this one looks like. Have that for connecting the switch. Little thumb switch on the top. That's not flexible there. That looks okay. Have to see how it works in service, but it certainly looks alright. And I am going to put this one back in its bag. It has got TIG accessories, but I've got some as well, so that's not a... Which ones it has actually. Let me just see if it's got any tungstens in there. So by way of TIG accessories, we have 3 nozzles, one of those, right, not extensive. However, I have quite a few. Have a look at the MIG torch. And that does look like a fair beast. Wire, gas, your 2 controls, and obviously power down the outside. It's Slightly weird that that seems to come out at an angle out of that torch, but that's clearly deliberate. The other end, I mean, that's a big heavy copper one there, and the brass insert in the middle that threads onto there appears to be insulated from that, which it should be, and that is good. See, right. Ah, there's an old rod. So that's also good. Okay. That is quite some set of bits in there. By the time you've got all these bits, this is not a lightweight welder like the Chinese arc or the arc lipstick one from Lidl. Much heavier. Right, we've done those, done those, done those. Let's get that out. But before we get that one out, let's go back to the Stinger. That's a 3.25. At least I think it is. Yeah, it fits reasonably. Let me do it at the angles. Let's see. Yeah. And plasma torch. Let's have a look. Again, I have got, because I've got a plasma cutter from Lidl, I have got plasma torch accessories. So we have standard in for your power and your gas. That goes on the same place a TIG goes. Standard connector for the switch. Switch, you can't press the switch, okay, that's important. You flick that out the way, which is sprung loaded, so there's no little chance of you accidentally doing it, and then you can operate the switch. Let's pull that off for a sec. And it comes with a cover, gas around the outside, gas down the middle. And you have a spares in there. Right, cool. So now what I need to do is go away and read the brief instructions, which probably don't contain a great deal of useful information about actually operating the welder as they would instruct you to. Not that worried about that, but it does hopefully contain you know, which buttons do which and how to put that regulator on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and do some of that, and then I've got some arc welding to do. Well, I've got some test arc welding to do. Some bits that you will have seen before. I hacked that to bits with a hacksaw and broke it, so I can now re-weld that like that. We'll see how that gets on. And I've got some other bits that I can weld up, including a couple of bits of angle line. So we'll test the arc welding first, then I've got to make a welding cart. Probably I might do TIG, might do arc, we'll see how that goes. Thank you for watching. Please like, please share, please subscribe.